Hey again, YouTube, Nutjob with Machete back with another review. Now, we're out on the farm, and I thought that would be the perfect opportunity to show you, well, a farm tool. Oh, and by the way, yes, I'm wearing the Two French Guys jacket again. No, today's episode is not brought to you by Two French Guys. By golly, c'est quoi ça? And it's not brought to you by the Schmidt Farm. Damn it, I said the Schmidt Farm. No, I was just joking about those in the Condor review. The Two French Guys Contracting is actually my dad's company, and the Schmidt Farm is where I'm currently filming, so hats off to everyone who laughed at that one. Well, what we've got today is another tool from Araniak, and since it's a farm tool and we're at the farm, hey, it's my ENEP. I really hope I'm saying that properly. I don't know if it's ENEP or ENEP, but this is my ENEP. You guys remember the Araniak machete, the Latin machete review, and hey, if you haven't seen it, I'm putting it here. Well, just like that, and just like Nickel the Sickle, and again, if you haven't seen that one, I'll put it here. This tool came to me from Araniak, and I've got one more tool that I'm going to have to show you guys. I'm just figuring out how to show you something. But this is, if I remember correctly, 5160 carbon steel, nicely polished, it's tempered, I think it's 19.5 inches overall. You know what, I'm going to put the specs and everything below just in case I forget something. We got hardwood handles, peened pins, I think the blade is 12 inches, and I mean, just look at this thing. Yeah. It is a beast, and as such, I called it Harn. Now, getting one of these, what the hell are you going to use it for? Well, you know what? Why don't we start this off a little bit different? I'm going to show you the test footage that I did, and then we'll come back to the actual review. So, let's go to that.
That's a pretty clean cut.
And try some other stuff. Just, I don't recommend picking a lot of the stuff in here because you got thistle and some bramble bush. And careful of your legs. Uncle, would you hit me on the head? Damn, this thing's biting in. No close-up needed on that one. Well, I mean, as you can see, this beast, I mean, splitting lumber, it has no problem. Chopping into lumber, it has no problem. With that meat, holy crap, it went through the whole damn thing. So if you needed to use this on the farm for, you know, dispatching anything, it would do really, really well on that too. Sorry if you're hearing some background noise. There's something coming on the grid road and I don't feel like stopping. So, but yeah, one thing I noticed, like I mentioned in the Condor review, a lot of the wood that I've been chopping into is maple. So it's really, you know, fairly dense hardwood. Some of it's been seasoned and some of it's still alive. I did notice one tiny little thing that I'll mention in a little bit. But as you can see, I mean, chopping into it, this thing has enough weight. It weighs about 2 pounds. It can weigh a little bit less or just a tiny bit more, but it weighs about 2 pounds. And with force, driving it right into those maple branches and splitting up all that. I think that was Japanese cherry wood, and I think I had some Manitoba maple there too. Just splitting that almost explosively. And the meat, we're not even going to talk about the meat. The meat, holy crap, just chop. And the secret to that is, again, Miles does some insane sharpening on these things. Now, as you can tell, I've been using it pretty much all day. And so she's a little mucky up. But his belly here is a little bit convex, so it pushes the material. When you're chopping in, it pushes that material a little bit, and I love that because splitting the lumber, any of that stuff, it moves the material away and makes it easier for you to chop through. Down here, the edge is a little bit more razor sharp, kind of like on that Latin machete. There are multiple blade profiles to it. I've evened them out just a little bit, just so that it kind of goes thin, razor sharp, and then kind of a fat belly, and then a little bit thicker right on the tip. And the reason I did that is, well, I mean, just look at that tip. You want a nice beefy tip on something that you're chopping in like this, just so that the tip doesn't break off. I'm not worried about the tip breaking off. Miles does great work. But I did notice one thing. Like I said, I was chopping into that maple, especially that while I was doing that one big maple branch, and then there was a piece of maple that was about 14 inches around. Admittedly, I couldn't finish it with this. I had to go get the buck saw and saw it down and then carry it to the silage pit. But one thing I noticed, and I left it up, is you might see that one of the pins is raised up a little bit. The other 3 are fine, but that one pin up here has actually just come a little bit loose. Now, admittedly, I was chopping and wiggling the blade, wiggling the blade just a little bit, trying to kind of move the material away. So that might have been what moved this one loose. All I'm going to do is go inside the Quonset hut, grab a peen hammer, tap it down to the right point, and then just peen them over a little bit more. So I'm not really all that worried. Shock transfer, it's a hardwood handle. If I remember, it's eucalyptus handle. So when you're chopping into hardwood, you might feel a little bit of shock transfer back. Now, admittedly, a lot of what I use this and what I was using the Latin machete for is kind of outside of the purview of the actual tool. So you shouldn't really take the fact that like a pin came loose or the fit and finish isn't absolutely perfect on these as, no, I'm not going to buy it. No. Remember, I'm a nut job with machete. So, yeah, I abuse these tools a little bit. But yeah, I love this thing. Like, this, when I was at the website and I tried to decide what I wanted to get, the Latin machete was beautiful. Now I see the cane machetes and they're gorgeous. The sickle, the Orchard billhook was kind of a whim, so that's why I'm trying to figure out how to show it to you guys. But this was, yeah, I went there for this specifically. As you can see, I mean, we've got, like I said, that you can see the heat treatment on it. Blade is nicely polished. Come down to the handle, like I said, eucalyptus. the 4 pins, and it's shaped really well. Now I've gone down on it while I was doing some of the bigger chops, and again, the handle swells out a little bit, especially on the back edge, and that makes it really comfortable. Admittedly, on there, I did feel a little bit more shock, but again, I could wrap this up with Wilson or Yonex wrap or hockey tape, and I won't even notice it. But yeah, this thing is sick. Like I said in Nichols' review and in the Latin Machetes review, this thing is sick. Oh, Miles actually does scabbards up for this. I'll put a link to the video where he shows it in the description box below, and you can see how these are normally carried in a scabbard, and it kind of locks in place. So yeah, I mean, gorgeous, heavy, tough, nasty, brutal. So many adjectives that you can attach to this thing. Sick, sick tool. If you wanted to think of it as a weapon, well, you saw what it did to that pork, and damn. But yeah, great, great tool, intended as a tool. I abused the hell out of it, and it just keeps on coming. So yeah, there's not really much else I can add. You know, there's a link to Miles's store below. I've also put a link to his YouTube channel, so you can take a gander at some of the upcoming stuff, and you know how he sharpens these and all that stuff. And yeah, just, you know, go over there, go to his channel, go to his website, and pick up one of these things, because you won't be disappointed. And I mean, the price point of this was, I think, $25 US. Again, like I mentioned before, prices are subject to change, so go to the website and it'll have the most recent prices, and just order yourself one of these. Or hell, there's even a smaller version called the Pack Inep. A little bit smaller than this. I think it's a little bit lighter. Go get one of those if you think that this thing is a little too beefy for you. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, thanks so much for watching this review, guys. As always, if you like videos like this, feel free to click like, feel free to subscribe, and feel free to share this video as much as you want. And until next time, guys, I'm Nutjob with a machete. Stay sharp.